All right, everybody. I got the video quality to be at 1080p at 60 FPS. It was actually kind of a pain in the butt because I'm using OBS on my PC to do this with Elgato Game Capture, so I'm doing both. But we have the full game here, and this stream is 100% for you guys who don't currently have an Xbox One and want to see the full game. So this is for anybody that wants to join the live chat. Anybody that comes on here and tries to bash the game, constructive criticism is good. That's what we want for both games, for both NBA Live 19 and NBA 2K19. So absolutely open mind. Come on here with your critiques and whatnot. So yo, what's up, guys? DS, no, I did not play the Prelude yet. I'm doing this for now, and I'm gonna get into that later. Jones, the full game is released on a 10-hour trial via EA Access on Xbox One. PS4 doesn't have EA Access. And iShock, I actually am buying it for my PS4 Pro. I'm just showing it on Xbox One right now because I have both systems. So let me share this real quick on my Twitter, just so people can come on here if they want to see the full game, because I know that a couple people were interested. So, and then what I'm going to do is, this is for you guys. I'm going to jump on, and if you guys want to see teams, I can cycle through them and whatnot. Streaming, 1 second, the full game. Streaming. And 1 second. Game. 1 second, guys. Stream is for you. To see. 1 second, guys, and then I'll get to the game. Alright, so the quality should be good. I got this at 1080p and 60 FPS through my PC. I'm in the live chat on my phone, actually. So any questions you guys have, let me know. I'll show you whatever you want to look at. I'm using some of my free trial time for this. I don't hide things from people just, to get more views on a different video and stuff like that. I'll show you guys whatever you want to see. And no, I haven't pre-ordered the game. I just have EA Access. I pay monthly. I think it's like $3 a month for EA Access, but it allows me things like this for like the free trial and whatnot. So let's see here. So this right here is actually the main menu. So the first thing they feature is Live Strike. And the Canvas Preview, EA2, Creator Challenge, I guess King Sean. I haven't gotten into that at all, really. We have the Rise. And of course, we have the one, your court battles, build your squad for global dominance. By the way, I have not scanned my face yet, guys. The app wouldn't work with my phone for some reason. We got live run, live events. We have the drills, the shoot around, 1v1 scrimmage, 1v5 scrimmage. This is for this stuff was available in the demo and it still is, which, by the way, they just put through an update to the demo, 3.3 gigabytes. So just to give you guys a heads up, there will be an update to the demo, and those details on that update have not been released. So the first thing I'm doing when I get off of this stream is putting my PS4 Pro back on and playing this game and seeing what the demo does for the game. So obviously we have Ultimate Team, franchise, online, head-to-head, which is awesome, which is something that people were asking for and wanted. WNBA, NBA Play Now, and then your traditional settings. I'll go into court battles, which by the way I haven't even gone into that yet myself, in a minute. But one of the things I wanted to show you guys and see what you wanted to look at was the rosters. So obviously with the demo, you guys have only seen 2 teams, and we were only able to see them in Play Now. So this is, and I want to go back to this actually so you guys see that menu before. And sorry guys, I had to turn the music off because I didn't want to get a copyright strike. So you have edit active roster file, save active roster file, and load roster file. I wish this had also a share roster file, and I'm hoping that that's one of the next steps for EA. So here what we have is you can create 135 different players, which this is good for people who do want to have their own their own roster of, let's say, hey, you guys want to create a roster from a year or 2 ago, so like the 16-17 season, and there's missing those players in the NBA now. You guys can fill up the teams. So create a player, 135 slots. That's actually quite a few. Player rotation, and then free agents. That's how you sign free agents to a team. But if you want to go and look at each one of the teams, this is what you go into. So you go to Edit Roster, and I actually really like the layout here. I like that they are not using full body portraits. I actually prefer this face portrait setup, and I think the menu's pretty slick. So what you have here is you have the overalls, you have obviously the age, height, weight, and their traits. So these are like for 2K, it's like badges, and there's 3 of them, and then it obviously goes through the attributes. And you can select it by position here. So again, this is information you didn't have in the demo. So for you guys who wanted to see this, this is kind of how the roster screens look. Then over here is where you select your team. But when you go into a player, there's things I like about this, and there are things that I don't. So we're going to go and look at Embiid here. And really slick layout. My problem with this is that Live doesn't allow us to edit any of the animations. So when you actually go into, like, this is your summary of the player. It shows the highlights for them, like their interior offense, interior defense, etc. And their height and age. I really like this screen. Analysis, Joel Embiid is the number 2 ranked C center in the league based on his overall rating, 92, putting him at 92 at top 2% of centers. So that's cool information. So you guys can. I like that basketball reference type stuff that they got on here. And then development superstar, this player earns upgrade points at the highest rate. So, cool. But when you go into edit player, if you look on the right, there's his render, which, by the way, is a good render. There's no problems with this render whatsoever. I mean, the textures are washed out. I'm not really a fan of players having no muscle or very little muscle to show for it. These are athletes, but my problem is that it's cool to look at him, but we can't edit any of his animations. So one thing that Live definitely needs to get better at is the customization. So, you know, if we didn't agree with the signature shot that they chose for him, we'd be able to change it. We should be able to change it. Or, you know, if we didn't like what they had for a fadeaway for him, or if we thought it was unrealistic or wanted to change it, we should be allowed to change it. You can come in here and you can add accessories to players, which is nice. So if I wanted to add a band to his elbow, you can do that. So you can definitely add accessories. That's nice. Skills, you can edit their skills, so you can go through here and you know, change his ratings. Right now he's a 92 overall, which is solid, so we're definitely not going to change anything. And then his name is blocked out, so you can't overwrite players. You can change schools of these players. You can change all of this. So it's almost like an identity crisis with NBA Live right now. You can edit some things, but you can't do others. So yes, they allow you to edit their ratings and add armbands. Edit the ratings and edit accessories and add accessories, but we can't change their shot animations or their any of their other animations, like their dunk packages or anything like that. So that is a little bit frustrating as a consumer. So there's that, and if you want an overview, you can go into skills here. And it kind of breaks it down by different categories. And it shows you how long the contract will last for, the salary. This is cool. I like this layout. So that is that's how this screen works. So anybody else in the chat that wants to come on here and see, you know, what teams you want to see, I can cycle through these. If you want to see any renders, I can pull those up as well. Because remember, this is for you guys. I'm using my trial time just because I want to show you guys the game, and there are people that don't have Xbox Ones out there that have only been able to see the demo, or they haven't even been able to play the demo because they don't have a this-gen console. So, again, anything you guys want to see in here, speak up. And yes, I probably will jump into, like, somebody wanted to see court battles. I can jump into that real quick after, which I have not gone into that yet. Every now and then you do have people with, like Chandler Hutchinson, you have people with missing portraits, and that seems to happen in both games. 2K has people at the end of the bench that, and a lot of rookies, and most of the rookies sometimes, that don't have portraits. Kevin Love is clearly the best overall on this team. And obviously you guys have already seen the Celtics with the demo, or for those of you who've had the demo. Brad Wanamaker doesn't have a portrait. What's going on, Antonio? Anything you want to see as far as me cycling through the teams right now, let me know. This is for people who don't have an Xbox One, or if they do have one, they don't have EA access, so they weren't able to download the game. Because again, they didn't have EA access. So I want to make sure my live chat's working here. If somebody else could speak up in the chat, that would be great, because it looks like I haven't had anybody say anything for 10 minutes other than Antonio, and then his name disappeared. So I just want to make sure the live chat's working. I don't usually stream this way. I'm streaming through my PC on my for my Xbox One through Elgato HD60 and OBS. Also, let me know if you guys can hear me. Alright, so obviously we have Marc Gasol and Mike Conley, who were injured off and on last season, especially Conley, who really didn't play. 88 and 87. Jaren Jackson Jr., a high 81 overall. Unbelievable that Trae Young is the highest overall player on the Hawks, and okay, cool, thanks, Big. Trae Young's the highest overall player on the Hawks, and that shows how weak that team is. That's not a knock on Trae Young, but he's a rookie, and it's very rare for a rookie to have the highest overall, so there you go. Hunter, you said you think NBA Live 20 we will see create a draft class. I don't know. They got to get the basics down first, Hunter. They don't even have multi-team use right now in franchise mode. They don't have injuries during games. They only have sim injuries. We can't edit rosters in franchise mode. So I think we should we got to get the basics down first before they can start adding true depth with the NBA side of things. So here's the Heat. We have Hassan Whiteside at 85 overall, Dragic at 84. Personally, I would have put Dragic higher overall. I think some of you guys probably would agree, but Whiteside kind of had a trouble staying on the floor, even at times, not only in the playoffs, but at certain points during the season. But here's your overalls. We got Olynyk at 79, Bam Adebayo at 78. Remember, anybody in the chat, if you guys want to see a certain team or you want me to go into a certain player so you can see the render, speak up. We have Kemba Walker here at 88. Tony Parker still at 78. Really strange seeing Tony Parker in a different uniform here. You guys want to see Tony Parker in a Charlotte Hornets uniform. There it is. Another thing I'm not a fan of is you can't rotate the player. He's just standing there. There's the Hornets. Let's see here. We have the Jazz. Rudy Gobert at 89. Donovan Mitchell an 86. I'm a Celtics fan, and I live an hour outside of Boston, but I can't agree with Jason Tatum really being better than Donovan Mitchell overall right here. I'd probably say if you're going to make Jason Tatum an 87, you probably make Donovan Mitchell an 87. But Ricky Rubio EA gave Ricky Rubio respect by giving him an 84 overall. I believe 2K has Ricky Rubio at 77 overall, so it's good that Rubio got respect. I thought he's awesome for this team. There's Grayson Allen. What's going on, Legato? And yes, I can go to Miles Bridges and Devontae Graham in a second. Remember, the face doesn't go up as close as you would want it to. So I'm not sure what type of quality you're going to see here. So, 1 second here. Still having trouble a little bit going through the menus because I'm still not completely used to it. So there's Miles Bridges. Again, I don't think I can get closer on him. Let me see if I can, maybe with, you can't add headbands. No, I can't. Well, I can turn him here, but it doesn't, I can't get a better shot of his face. I'm going to try to see. As I don't think you can add headbands. So yeah, I can't really get a better shot of his face. And I don't think I can bring him forward. I can't. So, there's him. I'll show you. And by the way, thanks guys. I just saw I got a couple more subscribers. I'm about at 1,000, so thank you all for subscribing, and thanks for my, subscribers from when I first opened up my channel here. Let's see. We got Devontae Graham. So you guys wanted to see Devontae Graham. Here you go. And again, sorry for no music, guys. I can't have music because I'll get a copyright strike. So a lot of us streamers are kind of SOL as far as that goes. So there's Devontae Graham. I've stated this before. One thing I don't like is how the graphics are kind of washed out. They are on both 2K and on live. So I think these players should have a little bit more muscle. And some of the faces are pretty good, but the graphics kind of look a little washed out and dark. But gameplay's better this year, so I can live with that. Antonio, I did already ask Connor on Twitter, but he actually didn't respond to me. But he's been active, and he's been liking some of my statuses and stuff like that, and he appreciated some of my feedback. And maybe they took note of it, but he didn't get around to responding to me on that. So remember, anything else you guys want me to look at, I'm going to keep going through the teams here until you guys tell me to stop. And we already went through the Jazz. We got the Kings here. We got Marvin Bagley. Again, it's crazy. We got a couple teams here that have higher rate. The highest rated player is a rookie, and this is the second team. So Atlanta Hawks' highest rated player was Trae Young. Highest rated player on the Kings is Marvin Bagley. De'Aaron Fox got an 81. Actually surprised Bogdan Bogdanovic is lower than Buddy Hield. If you guys watched the Kings, I had League Pass and I watched them quite a bit, so I was a little surprised. A little surprised that Bogdanovic is lower overall, but I think maybe if anything they should be the same. There's Yogi Ferrell in his new uniform. With the Kings. We got the Knicks here. We got Kristaps Porzingis. We have him at 86 overall. Kanter at 83. I think that's. I'm glad they gave respect to Kanter because he's in limited minutes. A lot of times he's a monster on the boards, and he kind of fills up the box score. Trey Burke, higher than I thought he was going to be. I actually would have thought they put Tim Hardaway Jr. higher than him. Joakim Noah still sitting at a 76. And we got the Lakers here, so LeBron's at a 97. We got Brandon Ingram at an 82. I think if he had stayed healthy all year, I think that... and maybe had given a little bit more opportunity, I think he could have been a little bit higher overall. Even though with his poor shooting last year, Lonzo Ball gets the 82 because he did a lot of other things. I'm not sure I agree right now with Kuzma being lower than Lonzo Ball. I think you guys in the chat would probably agree that Kuzma should probably be higher. Rondo, at least at this point, Rondo's at an 80. 79 for Pope. Josh Hart at a 78. JaVale McGee at a 78. For Orlando, we have Vucevic at an 83. Aaron Gordon, Hunter, what'd you say here? You said, will we get an update roster on launch day for NBA Live 19 because of the Rockets and Suns trade? They actually just put through an update to the demo, and I know that in the demo those two teams aren't in it, but it looks like Live is putting a heavy emphasis on making sure that they're going to be updating their game, kind of like they did last year. I think that it's probably a no-brainer that on launch day they'll have that trade implemented. They're going a lot harder with Live this year. You can tell by the gameplay. So they made a lot of steps in the right direction. So I think that you'll get a fully updated roster by the release of the game. And yeah, I saw that. For those of you who don't know, Ryan Anderson was traded for Marquise Chris. And I'm trying to remember the other player. It was Marquise Chris, and it was more of a salary situation. Plus, Marquise Chris gives the Rockets defense, so Ryan Anderson wasn't going to be giving them that, and they gained a shooter in Melo. So that's the trade that happened today. Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon's an 82. He kind of had a huge start to the year in the first 10 games last year, and then he just kind of didn't produce as much. He was shooting crazy high percentages at the beginning of the year. There's Mo Bamba. If you guys want to see his render, I will go into here because this dude has the longest arms that I've ever seen. There's his render. He's an 81 overall. Again, in the chat, if you guys want to see any player in particular or anything in particular here, let me know. But probably the best to go through the teams first because these are not available in the demo. Mavericks, huge props to EA Sports and the dev team there that gave Dirk his respect, gave him an 81 overall, even at his older age. He's still effective. I haven't tried the 2K19 Prelude, Antonio, because I just got home from work and wanted to throw this on for those people that wanted to see the full game of NBA Live because I have it on trial, so through EA Access. Doncic is an 81 overall. Dennis Smith is an 81 overall. I'm expecting that to go up this year. I'm actually expecting a big year out of Dennis Smith Jr. He was really inconsistent and kind of hit a rookie wall last year, so I'm expecting a pretty big year from him. Devin Harris back on Dallas. You knew that was going to happen. And DeAndre Jordan, they finally got their man. He's 87 overall. And by the way, for those who are interested, I will be playing the Prelude, and I'll probably be streaming the Prelude as well. Here's the Nets. D'Angelo Russell's the best player on the team. Jared Allen, who one of my favorite big guys in the league, actually, 78. We got the Nuggets here. We got Paul Millsap. We got Jokic, 85. And honestly, with what Jokic does on the floor, I'm a little surprised that isn't higher. Possibly the best overall on the team. I think he should be the best overall of the team, at least for now. One of my favorite players in the league, IT at 83. This team is extremely guard heavy. They play Will Barton at shooting guard sometimes too. There's Michael Porter Jr. at an 80. They got a lot of talented guards on this team. And I'd like to see IT have a big year. We got the Pacers here. Victor Oladipo, obviously his overall skyrockets to 89. Collison at an 83. Tyreek Evans at an 81. I know, exactly. Legato, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to go back to this. Jokic should be the highest overall on this team. By the way, that's no disrespect for Paul Millsap, but remember, Paul Millsap's been injured a lot. And Jokic Yeah, and I do think the Nuggets are definitely making the playoffs this year, and I think IT is going to be in the running for sixth man. I think he's going to have a comeback year. He's too much of a competitor to kind of fall apart. The only thing that's going to stop him is if he gets hurt again or if his hip's bad. Still bad. But yeah, Jokic should be, in my opinion, an 88 overall at least. He's one of the best big guys in the NBA, so he's a little bit underdone. We got Collison, Turner. This team's scary. Coming from a Celtics fan, I don't want to see this team in the playoffs. Getting Tyreke Evans, if he stays healthy, adds a really good two-way player to their team. If you guys remember, he had an excellent rookie year, and then he just kind of coasted along in the NBA. But there's no denying like what he can do on both ends of the floor. So this team they were already decent defensively, and they got even better defensively. And he gives them another slasher. Sabonis is a starter in this league, in my opinion, and they've been having him come off the bench. This team is Bogdanovich is kind of one-dimensional, but this team is scary. This Pacers team is going to be scary this year. What's up, Russell Westbeast? Yeah, I'll get to the Thunder in a second here. Antonio said, "Have you ever found it strange that sports games come out a year before the actual year of the game?" I'm not sure what you mean exactly with that. Have I found it strange that sports game... Oh, I see what you mean. You mean like... Well, people want to enjoy the game during the season, so they want to say, oh, did you see what Anthony Davis did last night? And then they want to go out and try to reproduce it. So... I think a lot of it is, the NBA is being thought about and watched all year long, so that's why they, what's going on, Xander? That's why, NBA's on their minds. This is the best time for people to buy the games and play them. And Victor Oladipo at an 89 is good, but yeah, a 90 wouldn't have been pushing it for him, so I agree with that. Yeah, thanks for subbing, Legato. I think you got me close to 1,000 subs, so I appreciate it. Exciting, and I will go into the edit for Russ when I get to the Thunder, Russell Westbeast. Huge pickup for them. I don't know if you guys saw this, but I think this is one of the most underrated moves of the offseason was them getting Julius Randle. He was such a beast in the second half of the season for the Lakers. And with them losing Cousins, they get to throw Julius Randle right in there, and he's going to be huge for this team. And I think that it allows them, if they want, to not only be big, but they still have Mirotic, who they can put at small forward, and who can also play some power forward as well. With Randle getting a breather, this team is just... I'm excited to see what this team does, and I love seeing Emeka Okafor back in the NBA. Here's the Pistons. We got Andre Drummond at an 88. I actually agree with this. I'm a big Drummond supporter. He averaged 16 rebounds a game last year, 10.9 defensive rebounds a game, and over 5 offensive rebounds a game, over 100 steals, 100 blocks. I think that he gets some flack, but he is the X factor on this team. I think Andre Drummond, Blake Griffin's on the team, but Andre Drummond's the X factor. And the fact that they made Drummond higher overall, I give respect to EA for that. That's not a knock on Blake Griffin. That's props to Andre Drummond. We got Reggie Bullock. This is not an underrated move, but they got Zaza Pachulia here. They picked him up in the offseason. And yeah, I know it's with Madden and NHL as well, as far as when they release the games. I think it's smart. And everybody's kind of programmed now to buy these games. Good question, Jones. I'm going to go in there, but I bet it's 6-9. So I'm going to check that too. When I'm about to get to the Warriors, and I'll check that. Kawhi Leonard's a 92 overall. He played only 7 games last year, but obviously if he's healthy, he's one of the best players in the NBA. So... we got Kyle Lowry at an 87. And by the way, this is not trying to crap on a player here, but I think he's one of the more overrated point guards in the league, just from a viewing standpoint. From when I watched a lot of the Raptors on League Pass, and I've watched him over the years in the playoffs. And it's not that I don't like Lowry. I think he's a little bit overrated. Ibaka, Valanciutis, we got them both at an 81. And they picked up Greg Monroe, for you guys who didn't know. He's a 79. We got the Rockets. We got James Harden at a 94, Chris Paul at a 93, which is high, but it's hard. He's one of the, he's going to be up there in greatest point guard, not greatest of all time, but he's an elite point guard for his whole career, and he still had a really good season last year, so I guess it's not unrealistic to have him at a 93. We got Melo at an 84. I'm glad that EA still gave Melo respect, because I know it was a down year with the Thunder, but I don't think they used him right. So this whole Melo is trash stuff is for people that don't know anything, in my opinion, about the game of basketball. I think Melo still has a lot to offer, and I think with the Rockets he's going to have a better year. And I'm almost to the Thunder and the Warriors, so I can get to those guys for you. The Spurs, we got DeMar DeRozan, LaMarcus Aldridge. I think the Spurs potentially won that trade for being able to get DeRozan and being able to get Jake Podol, who if you guys did get a chance to watch him on League Pass when he did play in limited minutes, he's actually kind of a stud. He's pretty good. He's young, and he'll be able to give Pau Gasol breaks and even probably start games and push Pau Gasol to the bench and give Pau Gasol nights off. I think that the Spurs, I wouldn't sleep on the Spurs, especially with DeJounte Murray, who kind of ended up pulling it together a little bit more towards the towards the end of last season. I think he's going to have a better year this year. Ginobili's still here. He retired, so I'm sure that's going to be fixed in an update. But obviously, he had a great career, and it was really sad to see Manu retire. We got the Suns here. We got Devin Booker at an 85. And I got to be honest with you, and again, as a Celtics fan, seeing Jason Tatum at an 87 and a Devin Booker at an 85, I'm not sure I agree with that. And seeing some of the ratings of other players that are higher than Booker, and seeing him only at an 85 kind of bugs me, because I'm a big Booker supporter. I know he was on a bad team, but there's no denying what he can do on the floor. I'm a little surprised. We got Ayton at 84, Ariza at an 81, Tyson Chandler at a 79. And then another thing is Josh Jackson being a 79, being rated lower than a lot of the rookies, like Josh Jackson being lower than Trae Young. I think everybody in the chat will probably agree that that doesn't really make a lot of sense. And I thought Josh Jackson actually picked it up and had quite a few good games. I know he was with a bad team, so his stats are inflated, but I thought that I don't think a bunch of rookies that are coming into the league should be better overall than Josh Jackson. That's just my opinion. All right, so here's the Thunder. So this is for you, Russell West Beast. We got the Brody at a 93. We got Paul George at 90. We got Steve Adams at 83. Schroeder, who's a huge pickup. This is going to help them a lot. I'm not a big Schroeder supporter, but I think as a backup point guard, I think it's a big upgrade over Raymond Felton, whose minutes are probably you're going to see them decrease. And I also think they're going to put Schroeder on the floor a bit with the Brody, and maybe put Russell Westbrook at shooting guard at times. There's Roberson, who I think this is a completely disrespected. I'm not a fan of this rating at all. I think he should be higher. Because he does struggle on offense, but his defense alone and what the other ways he contributes, I would make him a little bit higher. So Russell Westbeast, here's his render. Let me see. We got Jones said you have to understand that Devin Booker does a lot at offense than Jason, but Devin Booker is an 85 because his defense is lacking. I agree with that. I'm comparing with with the other players that are higher overall, and I could probably go back and find a couple examples or examples of that where players were also lacked on defense but were good offensively and have a higher rating. But no, I agree with you. His defense is not one of his strong suits, and I hope he gets better at that because I'm rooting for Devin Booker. I actually really like him as a player. And I do think the Celtics can reach the finals, Antonio, and I'm pulling them for them to do so. So let me see. And about Steven Adams, I love Steven Adams is one of my favorite bigs in the league too. Steven Adams at an 83 is tough to swallow because Pau Gasol's at an 83. And I think that Steven Adams should probably be a little bit higher. So it depends on what goes into these ratings too. Remember, these are overall ratings, so it doesn't mean that these guys aren't going to play right on the floor. It means it can be, you know, for example, somebody said something to me about having the 10-11 Dirk Nowitzki at an 87 overall, and they said it should be higher. And I said, I love Dirk, but Dirk, the only way to make him a higher overall was to jack up his defense ratings, and that was not one of his better defensive seasons. And so overalls are one thing, but it's what goes into the overall. So I hope you guys, when you get the game, if you're going to get the game, go into each player and actually see what goes to the into the overall. Nerlens Noel, which was a big pickup for them if he stays healthy. I think he's a really good defender. Like, they have him as a rim protector. If they, I think Nerlens Noel is going to be big for this team, and I hope he logs a good amount of minutes. He's a guy that can actually go out and defend athletic wings, and I think that was a big pickup for them. Schroeder and Nerlens Noel healthy is going to be big for them. All right, so we're almost to Durant here. Yeah, Steven Adams is wicked underrated, Jones. I agree. We got Karl Anthony Towns at a 91, Jimmy Butler at a 90, and then a huge drop to 82 for Teague and Wiggins. Wiggins just hasn't figured it out yet. As you guys know, he's very much a one-way player. He's very much an offensive player. And like they say, he's a wing scorer. He doesn't really contribute much in other ways. Not on the boards, not in assists, not on steals, not on blocks. And I'm not just talking about stats. If you watch, he definitely disappears on the floor. So if he's not scoring, you really don't notice that Wiggins is out there. So I actually agree with this 82 overall rating. But again, it doesn't mean that he's not going to be dynamic on offense. He's probably going to be good on offense on the floor. We had Derrick Rose at 79. Taj Gibson at an 81. Again, this team looks good on paper, but can they really compete in the West? I've always thought Cat was a tad overrated. But all right, Trailblazers. We got Damian Lillard with an 89. Some of you guys might find that disrespectful. I don't know what goes into that 89 overall, but he is everything to this team. I'm a big Lillard fan. McCollum, this is an example of what I was talking about. I believe who said that about the defense for Booker. Let's see here. You have to understand. Oh, yeah, Jones. So this is what I was talking about defensively. McCollum and Blazers were actually some of the most games I caught. McCollum is not as good of an offensive player to me as Devin Booker overall. I think Booker is quicker to getting to his spots, and I think he also has a quicker release, and I actually prefer Booker going to the hoop as well. But McCollum is, in my mind, not a better defender than Devin Booker, and maybe you guys think otherwise, but seeing him as a higher overall than Devin Booker, I'm not sure I buy it. But he was on a playoff team, even though they got ousted in the first round by the Pelicans. I'm a Nurkic fan, 82 overall. Evan Turner I miss his days in Boston. He's 77. There's Seth Curry. If he can stay healthy, he showed flashes of good play with Dallas. All right, so Kevin Durant's height. So you wanted to see that. I'm guessing they're going to have him at 6'9". They actually have him at 6'11". So 2K has been having him at 6'9" for a long time. And I believe somebody said that he's still 6'9" in NBA 2K19, but we'll have to confirm it. So 6'11", that's right. Some people say he's 7 feet, but 6'11", I'm fine with that. So there you go. The 6'11" Kevin Durant. And obviously you guys have already seen his render if you've seen the demo. But there you go. All right. So we got Curry at 94, Klay Thompson at 91, Cousins at 90, 88 for Draymond, Iguodala at 78. Yeah, I know. I can't believe they got Durant's height right. Good for them. I know it's a small thing, but having him at 6'9" is just wrong. If you go here, we got the Wizards. We got John Wall at a 90, Bradley Beal at an 87, Dwight Howard at an 85. I don't know if you guys realize this, but Dwight Howard put up 17 points and 13 rebounds a game last year. And no, Charlotte wasn't a super strong team, but Dwight Howard still has it. And those numbers rival very similar to his Lakers numbers years ago. And I'm not a Dwight Howard basher. I know he's childish sometimes, but he's still a good center. To be only 2 higher after those numbers last year than Pau Gasol, I'm not sure I agree with that. Maybe Gasol should have been a little bit lower. He had trouble staying on the floor sometimes because of his defense. We got Austin Rivers at a 78, which in my opinion, having Austin Rivers at a 78 and a bunch of rookies at an 81, I'm not sure I agree with that. Satoransky, who started games for John Wall when he was hurt. So there, I went through all the teams. Is there anything else before I exit this roster screen that you guys wanted to see real quick? Because I want to show you the other stuff. And, you know, for those who didn't see when I first put on the game. Again, this is for you guys. This is what I want to do here is show you guys the full game. For those who don't have EA access and have it on Xbox One, or who only have a PS4 Pro and have only played the demo. So this is the full game of NBA Live 19. All right, so that's the roster screen. So again, I'm going to go through these menus for people who just joined. We have create a player in this game, which has, you can create up to 135 players. If you guys want to see what that screen looks like, here it is. So it looks very similar to the edit player screen. Jones, I haven't watched a computer versus computer game yet because I've been playing it so much. I played the demo for over 20 hours, and I've already played this trial for a couple. But I'm going. And you'd like to see computer versus computer? Yeah, I'll do that actually in this stream, even if it's only for a few minutes. I'll put CPU versus CPU out there. But yeah, I'll show you Ben Simmons, Russell Westbeast. I'm just going to show you guys the create a player really quick so you see that. So I actually like this setup here. I like this screen. There's your jersey number. There's everything. Play style. I like this. Backcourt defender, backcourt shooter. So when you create them and you put them on a team, this is what's going to show up. So this is franchise better, 2K Life? I'm going to be honest with you, no. So they added, and this is a big contention with me, and I've been going, sending that feedback off to the devs and creative director Connor Dugan for NBA Live 19 over on Twitter, and I've been talking about it on the NLSC. The franchise, they allow trade block now. There's sim injuries, but no injuries when you're playing on the court. You can't edit your roster in franchise. You do not have multi-team use in franchise. It's a pretty bare bones mode, and they need to focus more on the NBA product because it's NBA Live 19. They can do what they want with the streets and still pump that up, but it's an NBA video game, and we want NBA content. We want, we want classic players in offline modes. We want franchise to be beefed up. What's up, Lil Dagga? We want franchise to be beefed up. We deserve that as NBA gamers. For that's what we buy the game for mostly, is for the NBA. So they definitely need to beef that up. This is I'm just showing them. Yeah, and I'll check Ultimate Team 2 after, Daya. I'm just showing you guys the creative player. So this is the creative player. You can create 135 players in this game. They have basic roster editing in this game. So you choose your face, and then I'm not going to go deep into this. And then you can add your hair. Please don't create your player looking like that. That's horrible. You can add accessories, your outfits. You change your shot animations. And this is what, if you guys look at this, this is what they should have for in-edit player. This is what they... I have not played the Pro-Am yet, Little Dag. I've been spending too much time with the NBA, with just all the regular NBA content and stuff. And as you know, I played the demo a lot. Yes, Live Lax franchise, Little Dagga. But this is what they should have in edit player mode, and I'm going to be pushing for this hard, so we can do this with regular players. We should be allowed to edit their jump shot and customize it just like we can in 2K. I think that at this point where we're in 2018, we should absolutely be able to do this with like the regular players. So, for example, I don't like the jump shot that they chose for Jason Tatum. I should be able to go in and fix that animation to my liking. So anyway, that's the creative player for you guys. There is, for you guys who like being able to add tattoos, you can add tattoos to your players. What would be cool is if you could upload your own tattoo to put on your player, and that's another thing that you guys should, if you guys want it, you should request that as a feature, whether it be on Twitter or social media or whatnot. So anyway, that's how you create, that's your creative player. That's how it works. I don't think they have enough face options for you guys to really want to, face editing options that you guys are really going to dive into that, like, customizing the eye shape and the nose shape and the structure of the face and all of that stuff. So let's see here. Russell Westbeast wanted to see Ben Simmons, so let me go to that. And then I'm going to look in the Ultimate Team so you can see that. Whoops. Wait a second. Okay, again, so anybody who's just joining, this is the full version of NBA Live 19, so I just wanted to break this down and show you guys things that you haven't been able to see yet. I already went through all the rosters, so after I'm done with this video, if you guys want to rewind, go for it. And you guys can see each team in their overalls. So here's Ben Simmons. Yeah, they do need MJ, Daya, and I'm sad that he signed an exclusive contract with 2K. I think what NBA Live should do, especially with if they're all under the same umbrella and possibly have some of that the money off of Madden's popularity in FIFA and NHL, is I think that they should donate to the Retired Players Association and get Barkley, possibly Reggie Miller, possibly Sheed in the game, get in good standing with the classic players and legends, and they so maybe MJ would sign on and they can get all those extra legends. And I don't know how it works on UFC. I haven't played that game for the tattoo system. I just know that it would be good for you guys to be able to upload your own tattoo work. And no, I didn't know that, Antonio, but I'll check that out. It will be good when they go to Frostbite. All right, Di, I'm gonna go into Ultimate Team real quick for you. All right, live night. Oh, first off, for those people who wanted to see the main menu on the full game, so what they do is they have the featured mode, so things that they're advertising or stuff they want you to jump into. The one court battles. We got live run, live events. These were available in the demo. Live Ultimate Team, franchise, online head-to-head, which a lot of people really wanted. So there's that. I haven't tried that yet. NBA Play Now, WNBA Play Now, and then your options. So let's go into Ultimate Team. Thanks, Xander. I didn't know I hit it. But, yeah, it's crazy. I got up to 1,000 subs with not even posting really any NBA 2K18 content. About 90% of my content is NBA 2K17 gameplay videos from the rosters that I created and modded, and just gameplay videos in general, so thanks. And Jones, I haven't played it yet, but I want to get into that right now. I want to get into what I prefer in this game over 2K18. I made a tweet about this earlier, but I want to get into that in a second. So here is Ultimate Team. I already did 2 of the games last night, so here's the way it looks. I don't like this. So when you go into the fantasy challenges, you see how that says 2 of 6 right there, where it says draft hype picks? That's you only playing 5 minutes. So what they do is they enter you in. Thanks, Lil Dega. What they do is they make you enter into the game in the 4th quarter, and you only play 5 minutes. So that's all, from what I know of, that's all of these challenges. You're not playing a full game. The score is tied when you enter the game, and you go and you're into the 4th quarter and you play for 5 minutes. These are on Rookie, and these are the easiest challenges I've ever done. This is, you basically can steal the ball every single time down floor and dunk it. So don't expect challenges here. If you go into intro, there's Drive to Win. There's If There Is a Will, featuring James Harden. Path to Victory. Look at the amount of games to play to finish this off. You're looking at, thanks Antonio, you're looking at 0 to 5, 0 to 5, 0 to 15, 0 to 25 times, 0 to 50, and 0 to 100. There's a lot of games you'd be playing in Ultimate Team. This will keep you guys busy, those of you who like it. Trust the process, win the game. This is 0 of 33. Think Curry is an 80 overall gold. Check the cards in the auction. Yeah, I'll go to the auction in a second. I'm just showing you guys how this works. We got the Gauntlet. You got Live Tournament, which is take on this challenge using live tournament players. Buzzer beaters, historic. This is cool. This is rookie historic games, pro historic games, all pro historic games. This is kind of like that NBA Greatest Games mode they had back in like 2K12. We got preseason, Atlanta Hawks. Let's see. Oops, I accidentally went. Hold on. Playoffs and finals. You guys are going to be so busy with this content if you like Live Ultimate Team. There's a lot here. Alright, so we got Play Now, head-to-head, GM task list. This is your pack opening. Standard, featured, NBA points. Yeah, good to know, iShock. Like I said, I have a PS4 Pro and an Xbox, so I'm going to be buying the game for PS4 Pro. Xbox, I just have it on here for the EA access for the full game. So this is the interface for your team. So this is what I have right now. I just named them NBA Legends. Terry Rozier is who you start with. You also start with Josh Smith, who's only a 59 here. Kendrick Perkins, 59. And I got Sam Decker in a pack and Henriette Ellenson. So that's how this looks. Contracts are the same in this game. As far as I believe they're the same in this game. I've been playing a lot of Live 16 lately, actually, so I haven't been able to check that out. And I'll go into the community market here. So you wanted to see Curry. Let's just go all so you guys can see this. Oh, there's Daryl Dawkins. I gotta get Daryl Dawkins. He's one of my favorite bigs of all time. We got World B Free at Chandler Parsons, Frank Ntilikina, Walt Frazier, Darren Collison, Chuck Person, the Rifleman. We got more Dawkins, but you wanted to see Curry. There's Sean Elliott. So let me search for Curry here. Actually, I'm not sure if I can search by name here. I should, but if I do Warriors, let me see. I should be able to. No, I don't know Elite Ratings, Daya. But I think somebody did post something on Twitter about it. I can look for it in a second, or try to look for it. But Curry doesn't look like he's available right now on the, at least on in the community market. But anyway, so there's Live Ultimate Team. If you guys wanted to, is there anything else real quick you want me to look at in here before I get out of here and show you franchise mode? Yeah, Daya, don't look at the overalls. That's not the way it works in this game. So like Terry Rozier, I got started off with a 60 overall Terry Rozier. Basically, there are crappy overalls. Like there's low overall players for every player, no matter how good they are. Like Draymond Green, you can get him at 75, but there's also going to be like a Draymond Green that's 90 overall, like a gold or elite Draymond Green, etc. So that's not the way this works. Like Terry Rozier is not a 60 overall, but I have a Terry Rozier that's 60 overall. Alright, so that's Ultimate Team. And I'm going to exit this now so you guys can see franchise mode. So here's franchise mode. This is the mode that they need to really bulk up the most. You can only use one team. I'm going to do create a new franchise so you guys can see what that's all about. They need to make it so you can use more than one team, so we should be able to use or control all the teams if we want. Not only does that help for local couch play, but it helps us be able to customize our experience more and be more involved in the franchise. They really need to focus on the NBA content, and they're shooting themselves in the foot if they're going to focus on just the team or mostly on the team demographic. Yeah, I know I just hit 1K. I'm pumped about it. Shocked. Like I said, for somebody who didn't pump out NBA 2K18 videos because I didn't enjoy the game, I'm glad that people stuck with me and, you know, new people are subscribing. So, and I didn't pump out Live 18 videos either. It's mostly off of my 2K17 videos. So here it is. You set up your rules, your league settings. You get your player skill sliders, your computer skill sliders, and your rule settings. And then you accept. And this is where you choose your team. This is where you should be, in my opinion, should be allowed to choose every team if you want, but you can't. So we'll start this with the Thunder in honor of Russell Westbeast, who's joined into pretty much every one of my streams. Excuse me. Go for it, iShock, if you want to stream. If people want to join in, they can. If they want to stick with me, you guys can stick with me and check out some more of this content. Do whatever you guys want. So it's advancing to regular season. It simulates the off season for you, and it puts you right into a draft, which this didn't actually happen to me last time, so I think I accidentally selected. Oh no, actually, what it does is it's telling me the draft recap. So basically, it's showing what happened last year in real life draft. And that looks kind of cool in the background, actually, the draft board, or what people are saying about the draft. Then you go into either play full game, play the moment, which I believe play the moment is, which I haven't tried this yet. Play the moment is like jumping into a later part of the game. As far as customization, here's the news. Here's your alerts and your news. You have my team, so this is, excuse me, your team, and this is kind of cool to see all the renders on one screen. Let's see here. I'll move the mic away. How about that, iShock? We got Paul George, Corey Brewer, Russell Westbrook. Then over here you have your team roster, player rotation. The problem is that when you go into team roster, you can't actually edit anything. So you can just like view it. Chris, I'll go to the Nuggets again in a second for you, alright? I went through it earlier in the video, but I'll go back in a second before I honor one of the other the requests. And actually, I can do that here. Stupid. Here you go. So we have Millsap at 86, and we talked about this earlier. We all think that Jokic, or at least the people that spoke up, Jokic should be higher overall and the highest overall on the team. I think he should be about an 88. I don't think Paul Millsap should be higher. You got IT at 83, Gary Harris at 82, Jamal Murray 82, Will Barton 80, Porter's at 80, Mason Plumlee 78, and there you go. But anyway, so when you go to your team, you can't, you know, there's no editing that you can do in here. Release and trade. That's it. Like, you can't edit any shot animations or edit anything else really about the player. It's basically more for viewing. Player rotation, injury report, trades, free agents, a snapshot of the standings. Yeah, no problem, Chris. Next 3 games. Player stats, so you guys can see what that screen looks like. And this is how you select through the different teams. You're just up here, and you have per game and total. You don't have metric stats in here. And I'm actually curious because I think they don't have metric stats. So, like I said, they don't. So this is a pretty pretty standard fantasy mode, franchise mode, something that you could have had in a game, you know, in 2004. In fact, in 2004, 2003, this team did have more options in franchise. You were actually able to user control all the teams in the league. In franchise mode. Yeah, I'll go to the Wizards right now. For all of you just joining, it's also earlier in the video I went through all the teams. Adrian says Dwight... not Wizard stats. I meant to go to the ratings. 1 second. Team roster. So Wizards, we got John Wall at 90, Bradley Beal at an 87, Dwight Howard 85, Otto Porter 83, Markieff Morris at an 80. Austin Rivers, in my opinion, a little bit too low, 78. Chris, there's a trade block now. They allow trade blocking. Or you get blocked, I mean, in trades. One other thing about franchise mode is that there's sim injuries, but there's no injuries on the floor. So, like, you can play a game and an injury won't happen, but there is simulated injuries. But, for example, the game didn't come out, Andy. This is a 10-hour trial that you have if you have EA Access. This is the full game, but I only have 10 hours to play the full game. So this is... Anyway, so let me show you guys the trading thing. So, say trade away a player, trade for a player, and custom trade. So let me show you guys how this works. I'm going to trade away Schroeder, even though they just got him. Yeah, it's a slight improvement, but it's not enough, and I'll get into that in a minute. So if I add player or a pick, so I can grab, let's say I want to trade Schroeder for Fultz, which Philly would never do this trade right now. But if I submit, this trade is not allowed because it would put the other team over the salary cap if accepted. So obviously the salary cap matters, and the salary cap is on. Let me try. That's probably not going to work either. But anyway, you guys kind of see how the trade system works in here. But I guess trade block is one of them. One of the new features, as well as, like I said, there's sim injuries, but there's no injuries on the floor. So anyway, that's the franchise mode if you guys wanted it in a nutshell. And then we got... Yeah, get EA Access. It's worth it if you guys want to try. Yeah, it isn't, Chris. They're not focusing on the right things, in my opinion. They're targeting the younger demographic with the street modes and whatnot. And they even came out and said they were targeting the younger demographic. But NBA Live was on top when it was focused on the NBA content. And it's NBA Live for a reason. You know, it's not Street Live or anything like that. They need to focus on adding... more to the NBA content, giving us a deeper franchise. The gameplay is so much better this year than it was last year. I actually really enjoy the gameplay. Now it's time to focus on beefing up the NBA content, whether it giving us classic players in offline mode that we can put on regular teams, allowing multi-team use in franchise, giving a realistic transaction system, and roster editing in franchise, adding more legends to Live Ultimate Team, and whatnot. They need to add to the NBA content. So we've gone through. Let me see, what else did I have for questions? Did I like 2K16? I liked 2K16 in some areas, but the problem with 2K16 was the players were too heavy, and there was no realistic first step, or basically, it felt like a lot of the players were stuck in the mud. So I didn't really enjoy moving around the court a lot on 2K16, and for me, gameplay is everything. So it had some good things, but the players were just too heavy, and I didn't really enjoy the gameplay that much. So there's that. Somebody asked about CPU versus CPU. Let me see. What did this person say here? Just checking to see what anybody else had for questions real quick before I do the next thing. Chris, you said Millsap should be an 84. I think he's too high right now, especially because he was injured off and on all last season. No, there isn't a trade finder, Chris. Let me see. Alright, so somebody wanted to see CPU versus CPU gameplay, and I'm going to do that here in a second. But I'm going to... somebody also wanted to see court battles, so I'm going to go on here. I've never gone into this before. Before you begin, let's customize your one court. So this is court customization. Some of you guys probably have seen this because I believe it's available in the demo. I don't know what to do here. But yeah, they're making me customize the court. I'm not going to get into this right now. I might do it on another stream just because of time. But somebody wanted to see computer versus computer gameplay real quick. What two teams do you guys want me to put on the court? I'm not going to put on the Warriors or Celtics because they were in the demo, and there's a million videos out there for that. I don't know why this is not allowing me to exit here. What two teams do you guys want to see against each other for when I get this up? I'm just going to fly by this because don't want to get too deep into this. Yeah, the players felt less heavy in 2K17. As you guys know, who have been subscribers for my channel for a long time, 2K17 gameplay was better for me. And I don't know how to get out of this right now, so 1 second. Oh, good. Okay.
Welcome to Court Battles, a world created by the community, where you build your squad.
Oh, here's Court Battles. Somebody wanted to see it.
Custom court, and compete against others to earn hype and rewards along your quest in becoming the one. Race against time to take over as many courts as possible, each presenting a unique challenge every game. But while you're taking on opponents around the world with your attacking squad, you'll need to defend your one court with your home squad using different rule sets, lineup restrictions, and strategies to keep it from being taken. As you attack and defend, you'll unlock rewards to power up your squad, customize your one court, and make it easy.
Yeah, I probably should have done that, Chris, but
balance everything just
I was
right,
trying to get past it so I could show the
status in the
CPU
world
versus
of court
CPU
battle.
gameplay that somebody requested. I think I should... There we go. I was able to get out of it. So, what teams do you guys want to see against each other? I was thinking about putting the Thunder out there for Russell Westbeast. He's tuned into every one of my streams. So I could put the Thunder out there. Who do you want to see the Thunder against? And one of the things I don't like, and I'm going to get into the NBA 2K19 stuff in a second, as far as like my my opinions on that direction and like comparisons gameplay wise. Who do you guys want to see the Thunder against? First person that names a team that you want to see the Thunder against, I'll put him on there. Anybody? If nobody says anything, I'm going to just choose a team. Charlotte Hornets. Not what I expected, but I'll put the Lakers out there right after. I'll play just a few minutes of the Hornets versus the Thunder because he spoke up first, and then I'll put the Lakers out there. Again, this is for the honor the request of the person that wanted to see CPU versus CPU gameplay. So if you guys want to see, they have the icon jerseys. There's the statement jerseys, which is one of my favorite statement jerseys in the league, is what the Thunder have here. And then you have the Hornets. And of course, look at the classic Muggsy Bogues, Larry Johnson, Alonzo Mourning, Kendall Gill Hornets looking jerseys. So let's get the Thunder out there at home, and we'll do the icon. We'll just do the regular icon jersey. And so this is going to be, I'm going to do shorter quarters here. We're going to do, just so you guys can see one quick quarter of these two teams going at it. I have the speed at 96 because I think that the pace is more realistic, but I'll tone this down a little bit just for the computer versus computer gameplay. It starts off at 80. That's what the default is. But and we'll do it on the ESPN view. So we'll just watch a few minutes of this, and then I'll put the Lakers on the floor. One thing I wanted to go over real quick, because we were discussing NBA 2K19. I much prefer the gameplay in Live 19 than 2K18, and the reasons are because of the defensive exploits in NBA 2K18 as far as the blow-by defense. As you guys saw in the 2K League, the guy that scored 84 points, about 70 of those points were on blow-bys. If you guys watched, because they did like an every basket video of it. It's because defense didn't feel like it mattered in that game, where Kawhi Leonard was guarding you or Carmelo Anthony. It felt the same as far as blowing by and getting to the hoop. And it didn't matter who you were using. So I also didn't like the transition and help defense in 2K18 and the body blocks and body steal legacy issues that were still in the game. I also did not like Live 18 that much at all. So for me, it was a down year video game wise. But which is why I stuck with 2K17 a lot. This game's gameplay I actually far prefer than 2K18 for the reasons of, first off, it's a lot smoother than it was last year, and they fixed the shots on the move and how those look and feel. But they also defense matters in this game, and you really have to be smart, especially when you're playing the computer on superstar level. They're in the passing lanes. They're helping. You're going to get swatted at the rim if you try to bring it into them without using your basketball smarts. So I really love the gameplay this year on NBA Live, and they just need to. My biggest gripe, and I've contacted the devs multiple times on this, and the creative director, is the company needs to go in the direction of adding more NBA content. And the reason for that is, and actually I'm going to turn on the cutscenes for you guys because I had them off while I was playing, so you guys can actually see how the players look close up. Let me see. There you go. All right. So
if you're a one-trick pony as a defender,
it's actually not bad watching CPU versus CPU here. But the problems that I have with them right now is they're doing their focus so much on the street stuff that they're not focusing on the actual NBA part of the game. So like the stuff that I mentioned earlier that they need to add to franchise mode, and that they need to add to the editing, roster editing in offline mode, and the classic players and all of that stuff. They really need to start focusing on that in order to compete, because bottom line is they can compete in that space, but a lot of people won't switch over because the mode depth isn't as good. So they definitely need to do that.
Fires the three, his first effort, off the mark.
Yeah, there's more emphasis in Live on
He'll run the offense.
On honestly diversifying your game, and actually I like that. If you looked at that Paul George pull-up, it was extremely smooth, and it wouldn't look like that in Live 18. Some of the signature shots are right on. One thing I like about this game is you have to, not only do you have to think, but you have to diversify your game and pick your spots, and it feels to me like you're playing more like real basketball. And everybody's going to have their different opinions on that, but that's just that's my opinion. my opinion.
Off the iron. No good.
One thing that I don't like overall is the graphics direction. Yes, I think that overall the graphics are better this year, but if you guys look up screenshots and gameplay videos of like Live 16, there's got to be a happy medium between these graphics with the dark arenas and dark lighting and dark courts. There's got to be a happy medium between that and the bright, vibrant, exciting, better atmosphere graphics that were in Live 16. It looks like 2K and Live have gone to the darker look, but in my opinion it's kind of an atmosphere killer, and it's not what it looks like when you're either at a game or even watching it on TV. You know, the crowd's not this dark, the players themselves actually aren't even this dark, the courts are not this dark, so I can't honestly agree with the art direction. So to me, the players need more muscle overall, and they need to look more like athletes. These are some of the best athletes in the world. So I'm not really a big fan of that direction.
Walker with the basketball. Down 3.
But with 2K19, I am going to be playing the Prelude probably after I turn this off. But to give it a try. But my concern is in the early gameplay videos, it looks like the blow-bys are still in the game. The skating looks like it's absolutely still in the game. And that's already been confirmed by a couple people who've played it, you know, where it looks like they're wearing tennis shoes on ice and trying to run around. The foot planting's a lot better in this game, and I like that a lot. Do you see how smooth that move was by Kemba right there? That was extremely smooth.
Good job of denying him the ball and really getting in his pocket. But he got
and it wasn't in Live 18. But I'm concerned about the defense. I'm a Celtics fan, Chris. I live an hour outside of Boston, and I've lived in this area my whole life, so I'm a Celtics fan.
That's the kind of defense they're going to play on him all night. Even though he made that shot, he knows.
But there's 1 quarter of CPU versus CPU gameplay between the Hornets and the Thunder. I'm going to really quick, and actually I want to show the end of the quarter because sometimes the CPU in video games doesn't react correctly at the end of quarters.
Sets him up for 2.
And here's a next level comment for you. K-Walk is one of the rare guys in the league today that blurs the lines between the streets and the league.
Westbrook. Not that time. 15-footer.
What about you, Chris? What team are you? What team do you support?
He got it off just in time. So count the basket, and they're back within striking distance.
All right, I'm going to put the Lakers on the floor for a minute so you guys can see that. I'm guessing you want me to put them in LA, so I'll put the Lakers at home. Yeah, I love the Nuggets, Chris. Actually, I like that IT went there because I'm still a big Isaiah Thomas fan, and I like Gary Harris's game. I've always been a big fan of Will Barton and his hustle and how he plays. I think the Celtics have a decent shot at winning the title, Antonio. The Rockets, if they stay healthy and Chris Paul can stay healthy, do have a chance to knock off the Warriors, in my opinion. I don't think it's a shoo-in that the Warriors make it. If if you remember, even though, and I know they have Cousins, but it doesn't mean that he's going to fit in. People need to realize that. That's not the way it works. Just because they get an amazing talent doesn't mean that it blends in. Look what happened with the Lakers when they got when they had Dwight Howard. But I think that in the Eastern Conference, I think the Raptors might be scary. I think Indiana might be scary. But I do think that the Rockets and Philly can be scary if they mature.
I think both teams are worthy of going to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I have seen the new unis for the Nuggets, Chris. I've seen a lot of the ones that they did, the ones they brought back, and the new designs, and they look awesome.
And now Houston has the basketball. Harden to Paul. And the rebound comes down to Ball.
Looks like the video might be a little bit choppy, which it shouldn't be, so I'm a little bit disappointed with that for you guys.
For a smaller player, you have to be more creative with your imagination when you finish with those shots around the rim. For the audience, that may look difficult, but for the
because normally my videos don't come out like that. It might be just like a setting that I have in OBS.
Nothing going here on that drive. Off the mark. With defense like that, little margin for error. Ball with it up top. Just getting started. Strap in for a good one here in Game 7.
Testing.
Got a piece of it.
Sorry about that, guys.
Right now, Ed.
Great anticipation. Paul to Anthony. Great defense there, forcing the pickup. Anthony.
I think the Nuggets will finish in, I mean, if we're being honest, maybe 6 through 8.
In the lane won't go.
I do think that the Nuggets are going to make the playoffs.
Paul into the front court. Down 4. Harden. And a chance coming up at the line.
You see this all the time. The defensive players establishing his presence on the court and also checking to see how far the refs are going to let him go.
First free throw is good.
What's going on, 365? No, thank you. Like I was saying to the other guys, surprised I hit 1,000 subs, even though I didn't, really upload much of 2K18 or Live 18 videos. Because I just didn't think it was a strong year for basketball gaming, and I stuck with 2K17 and a lot of the classics. So I'm really liking Live 19 this year, actually a lot, as far as the gameplay is concerned. But the mode depth is going to ruin it for a lot of people who want that deeper franchise experience, a deeper, Ultimate Team experience, or that type of mode experience, and then who want, classic players in offline mode. So I'm still going to be playing Live 19. I'm going to be buying both games, but at the same time, I think Live is shooting themselves in the foot by not.
That's good defense, but it's not good enough.
By not adding more to the NBA side of things.
James down for McGee.
For anybody who just joined, if you guys want to go back to the start of this video, there I went through every single team and looked at the overall rating. So if you guys are interested in that, I viewed a few players that were requested and whatnot, so you guys can get a look at the full game.
And in today's game, you have to make
shots like
that. Nice work, Drain.
All right, I'm actually going to sign off now. I covered most of the content in the game in this video. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it's D for 3, so DEE, the number 4, THREE. I just started using that recently, so it'd be cool to get some of you guys on there. And I'll continue to upload videos of Live 19, and I'll probably be streaming or uploading gameplay videos of 2K19 as well. So thanks for tuning in, and definitely connect with me on Twitter and subscribe to me on here if you guys want to see more content.
Can't connect. Defense did its job that time.
And a lot of times in this league, teams take days off. But if this defense keeps maintaining that style.
And Chris, wait, hold on. You said if they don't make the playoffs this season, Malone has to go. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think the Nuggets, I think they have the talent now, and I think they're really deep at the guard position, and they definitely have a better bench than they did last year just by adding IT. I think that if they stay healthy and they don't make the postseason, I think it's going to be a really disappointing year. So,
look, the Rockets don't take too many.
But all right, take it easy, guys.
Actually, last season they led the league in three-point attempts. Glad to see them actually find a two-point shot relevant these days.
It's Paul for two. He connects with the step back. Deep three at the buzzer. Knocks it down at the buzzer from